Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where we're covering Adventure Comics 123, A Lesson for a Bully, which forgets a major part of that title. It's election season here in Superboy, in what seems to be a Clark who is once again around the 15-16 age range than the 9 to 13-year-old. As there is not a school president or student body president election, but a school mayor election, which seems like a major downstep. Maybe schools do have school mayor elections, or at least used to, before they moved it up to like a school president, but it's school mayor. And running is bully Pete Brandt. When they first called him Pete, I thought he was going to turn out to be Pete Ross, who is, of course, Clark's best friend back when he lived in Smallville and was Superboy. But Pete doesn't exactly exist yet. Neither does Lana. We have yet to actually get his supporting cast here. There is no supporting cast in the Superboy comics. He just kind of is there and deals with different people every issue. Pete's a bully, and the popular kid he's running against, Tom Dawson, who Clark happens to be the campaign manager for, is probably going to win. So this story kind of hits the stereotypical, structurally uninteresting Superboy story of like several things happening in Superboy putting a stop to it. Like Pete trying to get Tom in trouble at his job, so he has to work overtime, but Superman helping with that. Superboy, I'm sorry. There isn't much of a difference other than size and age. Or burning the ballot box, so Clark has to actually use his X-ray vision, his sensitive eyes, his telescopic eyes, sensitive ears, to read the mostly burnt ballots. And there's even a fight where Clark pretends to be Tom without using any of his disguise powers. Just, well, all these kids are drawn the same, so it's not that hard to pull off. Though you think Tom would question how Pete was able to punch Clark and get hurt by doing that while Clark was not hurt. It's fine. It probably would have worked better as a montage. That would have been a way more entertaining than a whole story of him just stopping things without Pete really getting any comeuppance. And that's where we hit the main problem of the story. As we get to the climax, it is Tom who does in fact win the election, which I guess is the most comeuppance we're going to get for Pete. He doesn't win the election, gets to choose an assistant mayor, and immediately chooses Pete. And I guess this is the turnaround for Pete. He seems nice for the last 3 or 4 panels of the comic, but Pete never really gets a comeuppance. Superboy never does anything to him. Nothing bad particularly happens to him. All his plans just backfire, and not backfire in a way that, like, he burns the ballots and then he gets set on fire. Nothing horrific, but nothing particularly bad happens to him. And at the end of the story, he's basically rewarded for being awful and cheating at the election. Now, there's something to be said about showing your enemies kindness and trying to change them through that. And it's especially a good point for Superboy. But I don't feel like this is specifically a niceness that he needed, or a kindness that he needed. And I think he needed to be brought down a little bit. Once again, it instead feels like he's being rewarded for being awful. And that is the problem. The bully never actually truly learns a lesson in A Lesson for a Bully. When it comes to revidicism, I don't want like a cruel punishment, but there needs to be some sort of acknowledgement that he did something wrong. And there's never an acknowledgement or an apology. So I cannot get behind this story. Something else needed to be added here. He had to, say, apologize or feel bad for what he did. Instead, he gets almost what he wants. Okay, that is it from Adventure Comics 123, A Lesson for a Bully. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notifications when a new video goes up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Fridays is Bat Friday, where I cover a Batman story in either Detective Comics or Batman. And until next time, let's ponder the question, whatever did happen to the boy of tomorrow? And how do we know we can trust Superboy with reading those ballots? Oh yeah, he's Superboy, I get it, but like, still, if some kid in a bright blue costume, red cape came in and said he was going to read the ballots, I'm not going to 100% trust him. Okay, have a great day.